Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Caboose XBL bringing you another video, and what you're seeing in the background is some Injustice gameplay as usual. Um, but let's talk about something that's not Injustice for a little bit. Well, it's based off of Injustice. um, I was thinking about this the other day, and this has kind of not just been my thoughts only. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who've been talking about this topic, whether it's in the comments or in actual videos in general, about a Marvel game that's like Injustice. So with Injustice, it's basically it's a fighting game with purely DC characters. Um, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, why don't we get a game like this with Marvel characters? That'd be so awesome." And that's totally true. So what I'm going to talk about today is just what I would like to see in that kind of game and previous types of games that are very similar to this. So let's start with that. First things first, for those of you who had PS2s and were huge Marvel fans, there was a game that came out a while back called Marvel Nemesis: Rise of the Imperfects, and when I had a PS2, I bought this game and I probably played it day through night. It was such an amazing game because it was extremely revolutionary, especially for fighting games, because it was this whole 3D battlefield. It wasn't just um, you're locked in this general area like Mortal Kombat and stuff do. It's just like it's a whole big arena that you get to just fight your opponents in. You can pick up cars and throw them and stuff. And it was a really awesome game. But if it was one thing that was lacking from that game, is that they created these characters called the Imperfects. So they kind of took up half the roster when we could have had just a full Marvel fighting game that could have been just completely epic. It still was. Like I said, this game was huge. It was so much fun. Even the story had some like really cool elements to it. Um, and it was completely different at the time that it came out, and I've never seen a game like it ever since. Um, I do know that there was going to be a big game like that was in development, where they were going to make some big 3D Battlefield type, or not like the game Battlefield, but I mean like a Battlefield, like it actually. But yeah, like a huge 3D Battlefield type game. I keep saying that. Okay, there's gonna be a huge 3D fighting game with Marvel, but it just totally got scrapped and canceled, which is extremely disappointing because all like the test footage that was shown was amazing, and I totally would have loved to see that and own it and play it. But yeah, so if that's one thing that I have to say that I would love to see from a Marvel fighting game, it's that it's got to be, it's just a bigger scope and scale. It's just got to be on a whole totally new level, you know? Because you got, in Injustice, you got characters like Superman where they only really reach their full potential in terms of their powers when they do their super moves. So I want to see if we're going to have like a big, Marvel fighting game. I want to see characters like Juggernaut, not just like, you know, unleashing when you do your super move. I want him to freaking just destroy the environments, and just you'll have totally just so much fun with your character. One thing that could be taken out of that though is combos, and that is understandable. But at the same time, I think that it's got I don't know. It's like I said, it's just got to be revolutionary. It's got to be new. It's got to be fresh, other than same old, which is still great. I totally love the style of Injustice or the style that fighting games like Injustice do, and that's completely fine. It's been a style for years and years and years, but like I said, Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects, that game was totally just friggin' right in your face and just pure action, tons of fun. Um, Other things I'd like to see is a very stacked roster. A roster like Marvel vs. Capcom, but with just Marvel. Um, I want to see characters that like not even a lot of people know. You could have like freaking Moon Knight in there, and just like a lot of the Marvel characters that are very underrated and very underused when it comes to terms like movies or cartoons and stuff like that, because not everybody reads comics, unfortunately. So yeah, I would definitely like to see a really stacked roster not just like 24 of the most well-known characters, which is, like I said, completely fine. I'm not trying to bash on Injustice for just being a bunch of douches. But then again, when it comes to video games, everybody's about money. So in terms of like DLC characters, that's what's gonna get us the bigger roster, really, and that's just how it is nowadays. So if there were to ever be a Marvel fighting game, don't bet on seeing like friggin' 50 characters, because there's probably gonna be about 20 to 30 with plenty of additional DLC content, which is always still great. Why not, right? And the last thing that I'd like to see from this Marvel fighting game is just a good, compelling story, I want there to be just a little oomph to these fighting games, and that's where I really liked Injustice, was its story. It was something that, you clearly a lot of people see in the comics, but it was just something that I really enjoyed, friggin' seeing Superman just being pushed to his limits and finally jumping off to the deep end, And I would love to see that in the Marvel fighting games. A nice, compelling story that really sucks me in and that really, really has me wanting to, play it beginning to end, or even play it more than once. So yeah, that's just about it, honestly, guys. Tell me what you would like to see in a Marvel fighting game down below in the comments. I'm Caboose XBL. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.